I mean, I would hold the door open for an attractive girl if she was just pulling in the parking lot. I would wait. I would be
Waits
like
20 minutes.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I better tie on my shoes. Oh, look, I dropped a couple pennies. Hey everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Not Exactly Experts. Thank you so much for checking us out. I think we have a really good topic that we're going to get into, and something that I've experienced a lot in my life, and I know I can. This topic really grinds my gears, so I'm really geared up for this one. But I know
We've been talking back and forth. Basically, what has happened to kindness? I feel like it's out the door. Where has kindness gone? Like I mean, it's election season, and we're by no means going into that down that road, down that path. But like, it's just things just feel so dirty right now. Like where is kindness? It's gone. And so my question to you guys, and the question we're posting here is, are you cruel if you're not kind?
I think
Jarrett?
absolutely, yeah.
who's gonna disagree with that?
Yeah. I guess more the question is, do you have a problem with people who are not courteous? And like we talked to each other, and we texted several examples, and one that I want to point, there's a couple I want to talk about. So you're going into a store, you're being polite, you see some people coming up behind you or some people are leaving, and you hold the door open, and of course you're standing there, and they just walk by you and they don't say anything. I hate that. I absolutely hate that to the 10th degree. And let's have the beep button ready for this. When someone walks past me and I open the door and I keep the door open and they walk past me, they don't say anything, I'm like, hey, I don't work here. Okay. I'm not doing this out of I'm just like, I'm just a normal person. Like, I'm trying to be nice and you just ghost me. I'm like, do you think this door just happened to open up by itself? Like, and the thing that it's terrible is I have noticed that because I open the door all the time for everybody. Like, I'll have 20 people pass me before I finally enter the store. Younger kids will always tell me thank you, but their parents or their guardians who are with them will not say that. The younger kids always look at me and say thank you. The adults do not, and that is the one thing that really sticks in my crawl. And I make sure if they walk past me, I go, "You're welcome." I always say it out loud, but like some of them look back and some of them don't. I'm just like, are you that oblivious to the world that you just don't know, that you just think doors just magically open to you because you think you're some hot shot? Like you're walking out of Costco. Let's be honest. Like, you're not kind of a big shot right now. I'm opening the door for you. So that's just, and it bothers me how much it bothers me. Like, it shouldn't be so, it shouldn't really affect me this much, but it does. It affects me so much when you do a small step of kindness and someone can't even return it by saying, or there's not a nod, like it's a simple nod. Hey, I'll take that. Thumbs up, whatever. Maybe you have a cold. Hey, COVID, we can't talk. We can't really talk to each other. Something, an elbow, whatever. But just to ignore me, oh my gosh, that is the worst.
It's frustrating.
It is. I just stare the person down with just so much anger and hate and fire behind my eyes. As you can tell, just simple holding the door. That's how much fired up I'm.
Say thank you, or Jarrett will cut your tires. That's what I'm hearing.
I will cut your toes. Screw your tires. I will cut your toes. I hope you stub your toe on the way to your vehicle. Like, I hope you drop your belongings and something breaks. Or you back out and you hit a car. So I'm
with you. It's frustrating. it just internally eats at you. You're like, I was trying to do something nice, and then I think in my mind, and this is how my mind works, like I go back to like, why are you doing it though? Are you doing it to be courteous? Or are you doing it to like gain something back? Because when you get mad because they didn't say thank you, it's like you're asking for them to give something back to you, right? It's like giving someone a gift and being mad 10 days later because they didn't give you a gift back. Like that wasn't the reason you gave the gift.
Hold the door?
Do what?
Are you saying Jarrett shouldn't hold the door?
That's his provocative. I do it because that's how I was raised, right? Was to be a gentleman and be a good young man. Like, I think that's what a lot of it comes down to. I'm just saying the reason that you hold the door isn't to get the thank you. It's just to be a nice person. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But I'm the same way. I'm not saying that that's how I feel. Like, I'm the exact same way. When somebody doesn't say thank you, internally I'm pissed. I'm like, screw that jackass.
Yeah.
Like, I just want nothing to do with them. And they could be nice people.
Yeah, absolutely. And
what if they didn't notice the kind gesture? What if they're like are on their phone, or they're like walking with their kid and, you know, kind of looking down?
So you walk into the store, and I think I walk into every store remembering if I had to open the door. Okay, and all of a sudden I walk out, if I'm messing with let's just say I have a kid or on my phone, and all of a sudden I know this door opens. I'm like, well, this is unusual. I thought I opened this last time. Whatever, blah 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 blah. I'm a moron. So it's like, no, you're gonna notice someone holding the door open for you.
Do you look to make eye contact when you open and when you hold the door for someone?
Because I watched them. Because I watched them, and I gauge. And you know, if it's like let's just say it's an older people, if it's an older person, they could be 500 feet behind me. I'm gonna wait and open the door for them.
So I was gonna say, do you guys ever get caught in that weird, like, uncomfortable? Do I hold it?
Yes.
Are they too far back there? Like, what do I do?
Yes. Especially like if you're in a hurry and you're like wanting to run in and do something real quick. It's like, for me, I like walk a little bit faster, so I feel like I've passed that distance to where it's respectable to hold the door or not, because I don't want to wait that extra 8 seconds for them to catch up.
And when I was single, I mean, I would hold the door open for an attractive girl if she was just pulling in the parking lot. I would wait. I would be like
20 minutes.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I better tie on my shoes. Oh, look, I dropped a couple pennies, and then I'd open the door open. I mean, attractive people get 3 miles. It's just like, oh, there's an attractive person coming. I'm going to open this door. But if you're just some kind of beast, it's just like, you better be directly right behind me, because I'm not open. I'm not keeping this door open for you. That's
so
how
you're nice, but not that nice.
I'm nice, but not that nice.
Did you get any dates? Did you get any dates holding the door?
Of course not. That never that never happened.
Nice guys finish last.
Exactly.
What about sneezing? Like if you sneeze and no one tells you God bless you or bless you or whatever.
Doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother me either.
No. I would say maybe, I think it's weird if someone doesn't say it after you're like, achoo, 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 and they don't say anything. I'm like, all right.
Right now they might think you're really sick.
Yeah. Right now they're like 6 feet. But no, that's one thing that it's kind of curious. It's like, yeah, if I sneeze and so no one says anything, doesn't bother me at all.
What if other people sneeze? Do you always say it?
If I know them. If it's a random person, I don't say it because I don't mean some weirdo. But if it's somebody I know, then yeah, I always say it.
I assume, is it still expected? Like, what's the social norm for sneezing?
I think most people expect you to say bless you.
I don't, but I think other people do. I don't know. Yeah. Do you think other people expect it?
And maybe it's different for me because I'm in like a business setting where like I'm usually sitting down with people, and of course I'm selling something, so I'm just overly courteous that every single time something like that comes up, I always make a note of it to say bless you, because I don't want the other person to think I'm a jerk. So maybe
What if you're in Jarrett's Costco, which Jarrett, by the way, I think all those have automatic doors,
I was
but
about to ask that. It's like, how many places do you go into that don't have an automatic door?
a lot of like
a lot.
restaurants. I
Yeah,
think we talked
restaurants.
Olive Garden earlier or something today. Like they don't have automatic doors, but what if you're in, what if you're in the grocery store and Costco, and someone sneezes in the same aisle as you? Do you say bless you then?
If they're close to me, I probably do.
I don't. I don't. I don't. I have to know you. I have to know you to say bless you. So that's for me. That's kind of where I draw the line. And
Jared doesn't bless strangers.
I don't.
That's what it comes down to.
Nope, I don't. I don't.
Here's another one that we were talking about, and this kind of goes into maybe still more of the store, but I talked about it in an elevator. Like if you get an elevator, complete strangers, not people you know, complete strangers, you're in the elevator, it's going to last like what, 20, 30 seconds to get to the floor you're on, or you're in a long line for something. Like, do you make conversation or do you awkwardly look the other way? Do you get on your phone so you don't have to talk? Like, what do you guys do?
It depends on my mood. Like if it's someone who looks fun and engaging, I'll probably strike up a conversation. If they're wearing a Jayhawk t-shirt, I'm probably going to say something. If there's something I find that I can speak to and have in common, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood and I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. You would not, and this goes out to everybody out there. If you actually want people to interact with you, start wearing sports memorabilia. Start wearing sports shirts, because you will not believe the amount of people that will feel comfortable to talk to you because you are wearing a specific team. I could not tell you the number of times people would say something to me when we went on our cruise for our honeymoon, because I was wearing a Cowboys shirt, that people would actively reach out and have a conversation with me and talk about the NFL. I mean, it's such a conversation opener. But
sometimes I forget that I'm wearing it. Like I'll be kind of, again, oblivious that I'm wearing like a Chiefs shirt. Like it happened to me in Home Depot. I was walking down an aisle and just not paying attention, and I hear somebody say something to me, and I was like, who is this? Like, do I know them? And she was saying, hey, Chiefs fan. And I thought she was saying like, hey, cheesehead or something. I didn't understand like what she was saying.
Cheese fan.
And I looked at her like I was offended. I was like, what'd you just call me? She's like, that's Chiefs fan, because she was wearing a Chiefs shirt too. And I was like, oh crap, I'm sorry. I feel like a jerk.
Oh, I love those moments. I made it when me and my brother went to the Godsmack concert in Tulsa. And I was just kind of looking around, looking at the crowd, and there was a guy directly behind me wearing the exact same Dallas Cowboy hat. And we obviously were too far to see each other, and all we did was point. We're just like, just point each other.
Oh,
point the hat,
that's cute.
and just thumbs up. It's such an amazing feeling. Back to the elevator. Yeah.
No. Before we're back to the elevator, I have a question for you. Did you catch more flack or and trash talk, or did you have more fandom when you wore your cowboy stuff on your honeymoon cruise?
I receive more fandom when I wear my cowboy stuff everywhere I go.
Except this show. Except this show.
One kid on the cruise said Cowboys suck. And
was he like 10 years old?
Yes. I was like, I think he was like 8, 9, 10. He was the only person to say something negative. Everybody else. And
what did you say back to him? You know what? You suck.
I was like, what? I was like blown away. He's like, Cowboy, and they're running. And so he's like, Cowboy, he stops like, Cowboys suck, and keeps moving. Oh, okay.
The Giants fan.
But I have received nothing but positivity because I think other Cowboy fans, especially living, out here, you just don't see a lot of people openly wear something outside that's not Chiefs related. And so I think people recognize it and they appreciate it. Hey, you're brave. It's just maybe wearing a political affiliation T-shirt. It's like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, but no, not really. I've never really received any negative remarks wearing any cowboy stuff.
I think people hesitate to do that because they don't want to start a fight or be the next Twitter clip.
Yeah.
Plenty of those. Let's circle back to the elevator. Rusty, Jarrett, do you guys chit chat on the elevator or do you rock out to the punchy music?
It probably depends on my mood too. I generally don't make the first move. So if someone starts talking to me, I'm fine with it. We can have a conversation. Sure. In my mind, I'm always thinking like, this is 15 seconds. What are we going to talk about? The weather? How about the 70 degrees weather outside? Like what we're going to talk about is literally nothing. Like I'll say hi as we get on, and that's probably usually about it, unless they start talking to me.
Yeah, and I'm the same way with you. For if they are wearing something sports related, I'll bring it up. It's like, hey, out. But then as the conversation goes, I realize that my knowledge about that specific team is more than what they're used to. So it was like, okay, I guess we're done talking.
Does it get more awkward though with the more people that are in an elevator that aren't talking? Because there's something for me that's like, okay, like we're crammed in here. There's like 8 of us. Why is no one talking? And there's one of two things that always happen. For one, I don't think I've ever been on a crowded elevator where there was like good conversation, like good something. It's either someone makes like a standard, like bland joke that like everyone's heard 50 times before, or it's just awkward silence the whole time. Why can there not be a non-socially awkward elevator experience? I don't understand it.
You should create one.
Because someone has to control it. So and that person who controls the conversation of the elevator is the person next to the buttons. Like if someone comes in,
you are right.
If someone comes in, you're like, hey, what floor are you on? 4? Okay, but don't just like number. Just like no, it's like, hey,
that?
Yeah.
What elevators do you ride?
I've gone on a lot of elevators where someone just looked at me. I'm like,
apparently he's riding an elevator on the Goonies ride at Disney World.
And like an ogre was like running the buttons or what?
Oh, I've seen some ogres on some elevators, but I'm too lazy to take the stairs. So they just look at me. I'm just like 5. And they just hit it. They just don't say anything. I'm like, I guess we're not talking. So, but the person who controls the numbers is the person who controls the conversation. So if someone comes, if someone comes in, it's like, oh, what floor are you going to? 6, and then at least have some talking as they approach and make them feel welcome to the small family that we're going to have for 10 seconds as we're going up and down the worst ride at the amusement park.
Oh, so I never thought we'd talk so much about elevators, but I have one more. I have one more question, and this is like I can't stand this. So to Jarrett, to where you hate it when people don't say anything to you when you walk by and when you hold the door for them open at the automatic door at Costco, I can't stand when like people are waiting for the elevator and they're standing right in front of the door. Like you realize people have to get off, get out of the way. Like that drives me nuts. Like, is this the first time you've ridden an elevator before?
The same people that as soon as the airplane lands, they stand up.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I do that. And in my defense, it's because I'm tired of sitting so long. I just need to stand up. I'm not trying to crowd or push people toward the front. I just got to stand up.
Yeah, but
this is spoken from the guy who's doing this podcast standing while you both are sitting. So you have no defense.
You just prefer to stand, man.
Yeah, you're just a stander. That's and when you hit the floor, the doors open, and the person in the middle doesn't like look around to see who needs to get out of the way. They just stand there, like, not my floor. I'm like, move out of the way, rock biter. Like, let the people pass. So
there's a lot of elevator etiquette that you don't even think about.
There is a lot of elevator etiquette. There is
so much.
Why is it so complicated?
That's why nobody remembers. Nobody's nice because there's so many things you have to remember.
It's like baseball. There's so many unwritten rules when it comes to elevator etiquette.
It's ridiculous. I will say one thing to go back to the sports memorabilia that I love about being a KU fan, and I know there's other sports and other teams that have this, but the ability to connect with someone with 2 words is freaking awesome. Like literally you see somebody wearing KU stuff, all you have to say is rock chalk.
Yep.
Both of you know exactly what's going on. You're both obviously probably smiling, happy, laughing. I think that's pretty cool.
And I think it's a lot cooler because obviously we're with me and for living in the area, we see a lot of KU stuff. With you, I mean, I would be just so tickled if I saw a KU shirt, KU hat. I'm like, rock chalk.
Yeah, that's enough about elevators. We talked a lot about elevators.
We did.
What about a couple of these can be probably quick? Like, do you wave to people when you pass by them?
Walking or driving?
Both.
Walking to a driver, driving to a walker?
I guess walking, you walk by somebody, is it not like do you say anything?
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you acknowledge just like, hey, how's it going? Good evening. Good afternoon. Buenos dias. Buenos
Which
noches.
is essentially a talking wave, like you're saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I nod
So-
my head.
yeah.
I nod my head. If we make eye contact, I think that's the whole thing. If we make eye contact and we're like passing in the grocery store, I'm just like,
What if they have their headphones on? Like if they're running outside and they have their headphones on.
then I
They
probably
still
don't
should
say
see
anything.
you. You could like wave, nod.
Now,
Yeah.
this was something that I had to learn hard when I moved from a small town, and then we moved to Salina, and then Gardner, and then now Olathe. Is not everybody waves at you when you drive.
Nobody waves. And I think that's just because like when you meet a car in a rural area, like it's an event. When you meet a car in a city, it's another car that just, went by from the previous car. Like
So in a small town, you probably assume, oh, I probably know this person, so I'm gonna wave back.
Yeah.
You do it in the metro area, it's probably kind of awkward. They're like, I definitely don't know who this person is. Why the hell are they waving at me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a numbers thing. Like if you're walking in New York, right, on Times Square, you're not acknowledging every person you pass there.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be
You would
amazing.
never stop saying hi.
So I think it's just it's a mere numbers game. Like the fewer the fewer occurrences, the more likely you should be waving.
Because this is going to be great for people who are watching this on YouTube. Is when you're driving in Colby and Northwest Kansas, your car drives by, the index finger or the drive by or just like that as you're driving by.
Do you do the one finger or the forefinger?
all the time. I
I do
do.
the whole hand.
I do the
You do the whole hand. Does your hand leave the steering wheel, Rusty?
I use my other hand.
Yeah. So
usually I'm using my
Wow.
hand and I just do that.
That's big time.
So
Yeah.
so obviously if you're in Northwest Kansas, back to Atwood, and
Why
you're
are you
driving
all over the road, man?
Okay, sorry. I'm acting. It's acting driving.
He's
Okay.
drunk,
So-
waving
so,
to everybody with
okay,
one
so
finger.
just,
Jared,
one car.
Jared trying to get home after being out to the Lazy Mule.
So then it's just like that, the occasional. But yeah, in a bigger city, it'd just be like that. If you're just waving at everybody, and you're trying. Yeah, you would never wave again. And I did
feel
that.
though in a small town, you don't have to pay attention as much when you're driving, so you can like take your eyes off where you're heading and look to see who's about to pass
driving.
you.
Yep.
I bet you do. Do you do it for like in your little community? I know you know a lot of your neighbors.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's different
And-
when you like think you know the other people.
What irritates me the most is when you're driving by someone's yard, and they're out front, and you drive by and they like do one of these, they wave, but they don't look at you. I can't stand that. Like if you're gonna take the time to wave, look me in the face. Like I can't. I absolutely
you be
hate it
blindly nice.
when people give me a blind wave. Like if you're happy to see me and you're wanting to wave, look at me for God's sakes.
I love where all these questions are going because literally in my mind I thought, oh, this is going to take 10 seconds, but there's so much to think about.
I hate it, and this happened all the time too. So, like, let's just say you have your back face, you're not facing the road, and all of a sudden, and this happened to me all the time in Atwood. My back would be turned. I'd hear bump, 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 someone hitting the horn, and as I'm looking, they're already down the road and they're waving so big. And I'm like, I don't know who that was. Just like slow down. Let me see. It's like, oh, how's it going, Bob? And then wave, but don't just keep driving. Then as I turn around, I was like, I don't know. It happens so many times. I'm like, slow down, say hi. So that's just one thing that I never when they drive by and I'm not even looking. Like you're so far away anyways.
I'm just gonna stop being nice to you.
You don't wave at me anyways.
Hi, Jarrett. What about these couple? You're at a restaurant, you're at home, it doesn't matter. You're at a table, you get your food first. Nobody else has their food. So at a restaurant, you get your food first. Nobody else has their food. Do you start eating it, or do you wait till everybody gets everybody gets their food?
Wait. Yes, wait.
For everybody.
Yes, unless they say go ahead and eat, don't wait on me.
Then
I will still well, yeah. I want to eat right now. I don't want to wait for anyone. But I will wait. And even if they insist that I go ahead and eat, I will still wait unless they insist a second time, and then I will give it.
I've heard the unwritten rule is that it's supposed to be elbow to elbow. If the people right next to you have their food, you're good to go.
I've never heard that before.
I mean, if you're at a random table where you don't know anyone, but I feel like if you're in a party of 5 or 6 or 8 and everyone knows each other and you're all at the same table, I feel like you're all the same group. Like it should be all equal. You should all eat at the same time.
I think now it doesn't happen a lot because in restaurant situations, everybody pretty much gets their food at the same time. Very rarely does one plate actually come out way before the second plate. So
every now and then though, there's a plate that's really late.
Yeah,
that's true. I haven't seen a lot of it. Now, in the situation that we had last weekend is when we went over to our uncle's house. He cooked us some pork butt, and so everyone kind of grabbed their plate.
Yeah,
but no one.
You assholes! Y'all ate before I even went through the line.
I know, that's the thing. We all started to eat. But it was so weird. Nobody wants to go first in the lunch line, but once the first person goes, they're not going to sit and wait for anybody else. Like everybody started. No one even asked.
I felt like that was a bit more informal, though. We were outside on the deck, like we had paper plates. I guess maybe if you're dining out to a restaurant, and dining into a restaurant and sitting down, I feel like then it makes more sense to wait until everyone gets their food. But we kind of did it like a smorgasbord type of deal. I feel like that's different.
Yeah, I think that's different. For me, it doesn't have it's not natural for me. I'm one of those idiots that I'll make a pizza in the oven and I can't even wait the 3 minutes for it to cool down. I just start eating it and it burns my mouth every single time. I just love food. So when it's in front of me, it's almost like, oh man, it hurts me to not just dig in and start eating. So it's just not natural. Like sometimes I have to remind myself, I'm like, dude, you can't start eating yet. Nobody has their food.
Yeah, that would be if I'm the only one that has food in front of me and nobody else does, and everybody else is, I'm going to wait. I'm not gonna be that person. It's like, well, sucks to be you guys. You guys should order the chicken fingers.
How about this one? What if you're gonna be late? Late is a big thing. Like I hate being late, but a lot of people, it's just happens. If you're gonna be late, do you call ahead and let people know, or do you just show up and deal with it?
Oh, I've let them know.
You never let us know when you're gonna be late to this.
I text you plenty of times. Like I'm like 10 minutes away.
Hopping on now. 10 minutes later. Where the hell's Jarrett?
Yeah. I do let people know if I'm going to be extort. It's like, hey, or go ahead and start without me. I'll be there when I can. But
if it's 5 minutes, like that's different. Like you just show up and apologize, like, sorry, we were a little bit late. But if it's like 20, 30 minutes to an hour, like you got to call, right? Like otherwise you're kind of just being a jerk.
Did you text anyone and say you were going to be late to the barbecue last weekend, Jarrett?
Were we?
Because you were late.
Were we the last ones?
Yes.
Oh no.
When it's
We,
family, I guess that doesn't matter.
I remember seeing a text that you said we're getting ready to leave, but there's nothing about we're going to be 20 minutes late though.
Yeah. Someone else is gonna take the blame for that because 50% of us were ready to go, but
Dang it, Pupcake.
Cupcake. Yeah, I was gonna say I had to feed the
Pupcake
dogs.
still needed a bath, and so we needed to make her so fresh and clean. So she takes a while to bathe.
Yeah. Oh,
What
absolutely.
about this one? Going back to the grocery store. You have a cart full of items, right? A lot of stuff in your cart. The person behind you has like 2 or 3 things, a couple pieces of fruit, I don't know, a thing of candy. Do you let them go ahead of you, or it's I was in
Yes.
line first, I
Yeah.
just go ahead?
Yes. You're super rude if you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
And
I
it
feel like I've
feels
been on the
good.
other I feel like I've been on the other side of that where I just had the couple things and the person in front of me just did not care. And
Yeah.
you just like
And it's
stare
like,
at them
can
like,
you
"Are
not
serious?"
see? I'm going to check out before you even get your cart emptied.
Yeah.
Thank God they have self checkout now, so you don't have to worry about that crap.
That's true.
It does, and
That's true.
it is it's amazing how amazing it feels when you kind of have that couple of things and someone's just like again, complete stranger, just
It
like
does feel good.
go ahead,
Yep.
go ahead. I have all this. You have, I can see you're having an awesome night with a 12 pack of Bud and a gallon of marshmallows. Why don't you just go ahead of me? You got some crying to do here tonight. So yeah, it does feel nice when a complete stranger is like nice to you and lets you do that. It's like, wow, there's hope for this world.
And it feels good to give that too. Like
Oh
that's why
yeah,
I don't understand why it's not done more often. Right? There are studies out there that show kindness does all these sorts of positive things, right?
Releases
Giving you
endorphins,
energy,
doesn't it?
makes you feel happy, increases your life, decreases stress and anxiety and blood pressure. Like, come on, people.
So
yeah.
it does pay to be kind.
It does pay to
It
be
does
kind.
pay to be kind.
What about this one? I know this one really probably makes Fur mad.
Okay.
You always take your shoes off at someone else's house.
Well, that's a house to house thing. I
So
don't
should
think
you
that's
ask?
like a general. I don't think that's as common as some of the other things we've talked about, right? We're like getting out of the way when someone wants to come off an elevator. Like that's common sense. I think that just varies. It's a preference of the homeowner.
That's what I'm saying. Should you ask first, or should you just assume that they're cool with it and you walk all over their carpet?
Mine's a
If
situation.
they want it, if they want your shoes off, they should say something.
Mine's a situational thing. Well, let's just say I'm going to Fur's house and I'm just picking him up and we're going to go somewhere. I'm not going to walk all around the house and just hop, skipping, and jumping with my shoes on, but like I'll walk maybe 5-10 feet in the house as he's just like he's getting ready, and then I'll just wait around and then we'll leave. But if I'm going to stick around for a little bit, I'm taking my shoes off. So that's kind of the rule of thumb that I've always
That's
gone
a
by there.
comfortable thing, though. That's not
Yeah.
I don't like to have shoes on my carpet and you ruin my brand new carpet type like scenario.
And I want to do this because I know this is something Uncle Brad is really stressed. He's really stressed about. If you spend the night at someone's house, and I want to know if this is common courtesy or if everyone does this, do you ask the homeowners, hey, do you want me to strip the mattress and then throw the sheets in the wash machine? Because he has stressed to me several times if that ever happens, is to always ask that and always do it.
So are you asking us, do we do that?
Yeah, do you?
Or should we ask? Because naturally, I would just go ahead
Yes.
and strip everything.
Yeah.
So, is it rude to not ask and strip?
No. Is it rude just to not to say anything?
I've had people stay with me and not strip it. And I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
we'll
but
take
did they
care of
ask
it.
you? But did they ask you? So it's like, hey, Rusty, you want me to strip the bed?
No, but I've never been upset that they didn't ask.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I've stayed with you multiple times and we never ask you. I'm sorry. Should we start stripping the bed when we come?
It doesn't bother me either, I guess, because like it doesn't take that much to strip a bed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
throw the sheet back, pull it off, and throw it in the washer.
Yeah.
We're always
But
big on towels. Like if you have towels, like we always ask, like, do you want us to put them by the washer and dryer? Like, what do we do with them?
What I don't understand is like what happens if you don't ask and you strip it and they are like, well, I wasn't gonna wash those. Like now I got to make this bed again.
And that's
So
me.
yes,
That's like, I'm not gonna wash these sheets.
Wash sheets, but once a year.
Yeah.
so if you stay with Jared, don't strip his bed because it's likely one that you're not the first tenant in those bed sheets, and two, he doesn't want to have to remake it.
Yep. Pretty much. I am a
So I
lazy
guess that goes back to your point, Jared. I guess it is important to ask then in case they want to keep it and not wash it, which to a lot of people may be grossed out by that. So then maybe you don't ask. What if you ask and you find out that they say no, don't strip it, and then you're grossed out because you just slept in a bed that God knows who else slept in.
Well, don't ask, I guess.
But then if you don't ask,
Well,
you said Brad wants you to ask.
right. I don't think that's where my mind would go initially. If I said, "Hey, do you want me to strip the bed, strip the sheets?" and they said, "No, it's okay." My mind would not initially think, it's like, "Oh my gosh,
That's fair.
I can't imagine how many homeless people have stayed in that bed and used needles." It's like, no, my mind would never go there. I'd be like, "Cool, less work for me."
You're obviously
That's
not a germ freak, though.
no,
You're right.
I'm
You're
not
right, though, Jared.
Yeah.
Most guys probably don't care.
So wrapping this up, just real quick around the horn, kind of how we started. Are you cruel if you're not kind?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to say there are examples where you need to be cruel to be kind, making someone aware of something, right? That maybe they're not aware of, where it kind of takes a little bit of honest truth to
Talking
kind of
during
get
a
the
movie.
point through.
And I think
that's different.
And I think we can discuss like what bothers us the most and what doesn't really bother us. We talked about the Gesundheit and bless you, and then open the door. That really affects us. And yet, if someone doesn't say bless you, it doesn't really bother us. So
elevators are a big deal for us.
Elevators are a big deal, apparently. I had no idea.
Just take the stairs. Avoid the whole conversation.
Yep.
So, moving into our next segment, then we want to do. We just get a touch on this. So we want to do a cooking competition. The guys had the idea of like let's have each other cook something. We'll video it, and we'll see who's good and who's not. So we've each gotten together and picked a dish for the odd man out. So let's go around the horn and kind of find out. Like I have no idea what you guys picked for me of what I'm going to have to make. So we're going to go around the horn, talk about what we're going to have to make, and see who can cook the best dish.
All right. We can give you yours first. I'm going to text you a picture.
Okay.
So we thought it has to be fish themed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
You love the fish.
We were thinking
Jarrett also has a sweet tooth. So we thought cakes, fish. Why not do a fish cake? So I just sent you a picture of what we think you should probably do.
Okay, so I'm making this for you guys.
I mean, you can make it for yourself.
I
can't eat it. Jarrett can come over
Jarrett,
and eat it.
This is you. This is for you, Jarrett.
Yeah, right there.
Love it.
All right. I like it. I like this.
Yeah.
So you can also tell me that's a pillow. That's a really good cake.
That's a pretty amazing cake.
Now, am I trying to replicate this as much as possible, or am I just making an elaborate looking fish cake?
Do your best fish cake.
Yeah, I'll just say make a fish cake.
Rusty, so Jarrett and I were thinking, we wanted something that it kind of had the flavor of where you live now in Arizona. And so we wanted something that was popular in Arizona. So it's going to be something that I think you've probably never heard of, because I've never heard of it. I don't think Jarrett has either.
No.
But it looks really good.
It does look really good.
So we'll put the picture up of it here, but it is a Sonoran Hot Dog. So
Never
a
heard of
Sonoran
it.
hot dog is a style of hot dog that originated in Sonora. It's the Mexican state of Sonora in the late 1980s, and it's now popular in Tucson, Phoenix, and elsewhere in the southern U.S.
Dude, that does look good.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
I love
Okay,
it.
so now we get to me, and I'm extremely afraid what you guys picked for me. So let's hear it. I'm hoping for a grilled cheese sandwich, but I know that's probably going to be too much. What do we got?
Well, you kind of led us into saying how your cooking skills might be limited.
Okay.
If you're hoping for a grilled cheese sandwich, which God sounds really good right now.
Yes.
So we want to give you the option.
Okay.
You can either make your own, and this has to be as authentic and homemade as possible. You can make your own funnel cake,
Okay.
or there's a place in Kansas City called Tropicana
Yes.
that actually has a funnel cake on the menu.
Okay.
So you can go basically buy one and eat it and film your experience. Because as we all know, if you haven't heard our other previous episodes, Jarrett has never had a funnel cake.
Nope.
So we have to check this off the list. So what are you
Okay.
choosing?
I would be surprised that anyone would say that I would not pick this. I think I might go buy my own cake, own funnel cake. I forgot the name of
Yes.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going
Okay.
to Tropicana in Kansas City. I'm going to purchase my own cake, and then I will eat it
Eat it.
and film
fresh,
it
right there.
fresh,
hot.
right there, hot, and hopefully a tear will fall from my eye that how amazing it is.
You're going to be mad that you've gone 30 plus years without eating one.
I know.
That's the reason you'll be crying. So Rusty, Sonoran Hot Dog, Jarrett, funnel cake, and me, a fish cake.
All right, let's finish this thing out. It's been a long one. It's been a fun one. We've learned some things. The unwritten rules of being a nice person. It's not that hard. There's just a lot to remember. So I think most of us agree it's pretty cruel not to be kind. There are certain exceptions to the rule, but we're not exactly experts. So I guess you guys can tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Just be kind, people. Come on.
Be a nice person.
Be kind.
Not that
Open
hard.
the door. Say bless you. Strike up a conversation with everybody. Just do it.